Search of fame and of glory. And the Vikings' name was Konnie the Conqueror.
Yes, that's me. And we've come to York, or Jorvik as we used to call it, to take part in the Viking longboat regatta.
The races are just one of the many highlights in the Jorvik Viking Festival. It's based on the Jolablot, a celebration held by the original Vikings to mark the ending of winter.
The festival takes place every year and is a great way of finding out about Vikings.
In the late 8th century, the Vikings started to take the world by storm. They left their homes in Norway, Sweden and Denmark to go in search of treasure, slaves and new land. The speed and daring of Viking attacks became legendary, giving them the reputation of being wild, merciless robbers.
Which was a bit unfair, really, because the Vikings made great traders and craftsmen.
As could be seen in the Merchant Adventurers Hall, where all sorts of craft demonstrations were going on, including how Vikings made their money.
Take one of those,
Okay then.
pick any one, and then you place it on there.
Okay.
And what I do is I put a collar over it, and I put that on.
And then you wham it.
And I wham it.
Ew. Brute force.
And there you have your perfect Viking coin.
The main event of the day was the racing. Crews from all over Britain, even Scandinavia, were taking part, including one from Norway.
So tell me, is this boat the sort of boat that Vikings would have rowed in and done battle in?
Well, at least for small errands, not really battling.
Right, got you. So this is just to do little errands in?
Yeah.
Go and get the groceries or something?
Yes.
So what are your chances of winning, do you reckon?
Well, the best. Well, I better.
Vem vinner i York? Är det säkert?
What was all that about?
Well, I asked the crew, who wins in York? We, they said. Is that sure? And they answered, yeah, which means yes.
Ah, so you're quietly confident, I think. Yeah!
Different races were going on all day.
All these men and women in these boats are actually sportsmen. They've been training for weeks for this event.
Some serious, some just a bit of fun.
Now, this is my team for the day from St Peter's School in York, and we're going to win, aren't we?
Yeah!
Now, I've just got one question. Why aren't you lot in your Viking gear?
Well, you don't have to wear Viking costume to take part.
Oh, right, I see. Never mind, I'll be the honorary Viking for today, and who knows, I might bring you some Nordic luck. We are now.
And I wasn't alone. Other teams had also dressed up for the day.
Control!
White College is in control!
Stick together as a team!
Stick together as a team!
That's why they call us the Vikings!
That's why they call us the Vikings!
Now this is the competition, and I think they rate themselves slightly as if, come on then, give me some!
Go!
Now that I'd met the competition, I thought I'd better get a quick bit of practice in with my teammates.
Okay, Ruth, I need some tips, I think, on my technique. Can you help me?
I think you're doing all right. When we get to the actual race, concentrate on what you're doing, not on the other crew, and enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself. Make it sound so easy, I'm struggling.
You'll be fine.
So, do you usually row in boats like this?
No, we usually row in racing 8s, which are much lighter and faster, and the blades are much easier to use than these.
Do you prefer it?
Definitely.
Right.
Let's get us moving together.
Now, as any self-respecting Viking will tell you, they didn't wear helmets like this one with horns. Oh, no, 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 that was just a silly idea dreamt up in the 19th century. Real Vikings wore helmets like these, and horns were merely from drinking from or blowing through. Skull! Skull!
The moment had arrived. It was time to race.
Oh! It's all a bit violent. This is a ritual thing, I think.
dismay, the other crew were starting to pull away from us.
Come on, guys! We can do it!
Keep going! Push it to the end! Go! Keep going!
They can blame it on me now! I'm spectacularly capsized! And they can blame it on me when we lose now! I forgot to take my arm out of the water! I think they've won! But we can go shopping now, yeah? It's not the winning, it's the taking part, that's all I can say.
And so it came to pass that even though victory wasn't theirs that day, as Konnie and her valiant crew sailed away from Jorvik, they still felt they'd had a good time and promised that one day they'd return to do battle once more.
Fantastic. Because it's not just the taking the part, it's the playing the part as well. You were a great Viking.
Did I convince you? Good, good.
Very much so, you did.
The festival continues until Saturday when, amongst other things, there'll be Viking battles and the traditional boat burning ceremony. And of course, you can also visit the Jorvik Centre, and if you're a badge winner, you get in free. Oh, hang on a minute. What's going on here?
There's a reason for this mood change, Connie. That is because it's over to our top astral investigator here, Katie, getting us in the mood for a spot of stargazing.
Oh yes, that's me. I do like to keep my eyes on the stars, and there are no stars that build their parts more than Rich and Connie. Oh, you're ridiculous, you two. Stop it. For goodness sake. But joking aside, if you are interested in some serious stargazing, then you may be surprised to hear that anyone with a good pair of binoculars or a decent telescope should be able to see the mountains and craters on the surface of the moon. One of the finest craters is called Copernicus, and it's named after a famous scientist who was born 525 years ago tomorrow. Copernicus was a Polish astronomer whose discoveries shocked and amazed the world. And to find out why his discovery caused such a huge fuss, we have invited expert astronomer Anton Van Blue back to Blue Peter. Welcome back, Anton.
Thank you, Katie.
So come on, spill the beans. Why was he so amazing?
Copernicus was a great thinker, and he wasn't prepared to simply accept the teachings of the time, which were that the Earth was at the centre of the entire universe. The reason for that was when he looked up at the planets, he saw that they weren't in the correct positions according to the calculations that he had made. Something was wrong. Either the planets were wrong or the calculations were wrong. Now, he was a bit brainy, so he thought the calculations needed adjusting. So he thought, if I put the sun in the centre of the solar system, that will make things so much simpler. It did, and the planets weren't still in the correct positions, but he paved the way for scientists and astronomers and mathematicians over the next 100 years to prove, shockingly, that the sun was the centre of the solar system.
But why was it such a huge shock to people at his time?
Well, in fact, if you'd have said that 400 years ago, you may well have been executed.
Oh, not only a black eye.
In fact, we know someone who was actually burnt at the stake for agreeing with the Copernicus view. The teachings of the time were that the Earth was right at the centre, and if you disagree with that, it was bad news.
But I mean, did Copernicus know that this was going to cause such a stir?
Yes, indeed he did, and that's why he had to be persuaded to publish his book. And in fact, it didn't come out. He didn't actually get hold of the book, apparently, until the day he died in 1543.
Wow, I don't know if I'd ever published it if it was me. But in case there are any budding Copernicuses out there, what can we look for up in the skies at the moment?
Well, at the moment, one of the most magnificent objects is the planet Venus, which is available in the morning skies. You've got to look east, so you've got to know where the sun rises. Just above, to the right-hand side, in the morning between 5:30 and 7:15, is a brilliant star. That's why it's actually been called the morning star. Now, I bet you can't guess what it's called in the evening, can you?
Evening star?
Copernicus, Katie!
Well, you know.
So have a look for Venus. It's very bright indeed. And in fact, if you have a look through a telescope or a pair of binoculars, you'll be able to see the phases of Venus. It's very much like the moon, because as it goes round the sun, it reflects the sun's light. Wow. So have a look for Venus.
So like Copernicus, we've got loads to look out for. I'm going to start looking now. In fact, thank you very much for coming in.
What's your eye, Copernicus?
I'm onto it. He didn't have a black eye, did he?
You know, it's funny because when I first met Katie, I thought, Copernicus.
Did you now?
Well, with spring starting very early in some parts of the country, we decided it was high time to find out if our latest recruit here has got green fingers or not.
Yep, I'd heard that a bit of a major makeover